Somewhere in America this morning, a woman in her 70s is standing at a security checkpoint, watching an officer drop a jar of her own homemade peach preserves into a bin. She made it in August. She was taking it to her daughter. And in about 4 seconds, it is going into a barrel with the water bottles and the shaving gel, and there is nothing she can say that will get it back. She did not break a rule she had never heard of. She broke a rule she knew perfectly well. She just never once thought of a jar of jam as a liquid. That is the thing about the 12 items on this list. Almost none of them are dangerous. Almost none of them are surprising once somebody explains the logic. They get taken because the category they fall into is not the category you file them under in your head, and the checkpoint does not care what you call it. It cares what it is. So here are the 12 things that most often come out of an older traveler's carry-on, why each one goes, and the small adjustment that saves it. Some of these are going to be obvious. At least 4 of them are not. And number 9 is one I would bet real money is in your bag on your next flight without you thinking about it for a second. I also want to do something at the end that most videos like this never do. I'm going to run it backwards and tell you the 3 things that must go in your carry-on and must never go in your check bag. Because getting that pair the wrong way round is the mistake that actually ruins trips, and it is the one nobody talks about. Let me start with the category that swallows more items than every other category combined. Number 1 is anything that pours, spreads, sprays, or squeezes. The limit is 3.4 ounces per container, and all of it has to fit inside a single quart-sized bag. Everybody knows that part. What people get wrong is the definition, and the definition is much wider than the word liquid suggests. Peanut butter is a liquid, jam is a liquid. Honey, yogurt, soft cheese, gravy, salsa, and maple syrup are all liquids. So is anything described as a cream, a gel, a paste, or a butter. Here is a test that has never once failed me. If you tipped the container over and left it there for an hour, would the contents change shape? If yes, it is a liquid, no matter what the label calls it, and no matter which aisle of the store you bought it in. And the reason this catches good travelers rather than careless ones is worth understanding. You do not walk around thinking in categories. You think in objects. A jar of preserves is a gift. A tub of moisturizer is a thing you put on your face. Neither one lives in the drawer of your mind labeled liquids. But the scanner does not see gifts or skincare. It sees density and volume, and a jar of jam and a bottle of shampoo look almost identical to it. The single most useful thing you can do is stop asking whether something is a liquid and start asking whether it would spill. That question puts every item in the right bag on the first try. Number 2 is your water bottle, and I put it this high because it is the single most confiscated item in American airports, year after year. Not because anyone thinks it is dangerous, because people forget. You fill it at home, you drive to the airport, and by the time you reach the belt it has become invisible to you. Empty it before you get in line. Carry it through, and fill it at a fountain on the other side. The bottle is welcome, the water is not. Number 3 is the aerosol can. Hairspray, dry shampoo, spray sunscreen, spray deodorant, insect repellent. All of these are permitted in carry-on at travel size only, and the travel size versions are genuinely hard to find for some of them. Spray sunscreen in particular seems to exist only in a can roughly 3 times the legal limit. Number 4 is sharp things, and this is where seniors get caught by the specific measurement. Scissors are allowed in carry-on if the blade is 4 inches or shorter measured from the pivot point. Small sewing scissors and nail scissors are fine. The kitchen shears and the good fabric scissors are not. Nail clippers, by the way, are perfectly allowed and have been for years. That is a myth that will not die, and I have watched people throw away a $2 pair at the bin for no reason at all. Number 5 is the multi-tool, and this one genuinely hurts people. That small folding tool with the pliers and the screwdrivers that has lived in a coat pocket or a handbag for 20 years. If it has a blade of any length, it cannot fly in the cabin. Not a small blade, not a dull blade, any blade. Corkscrews with a foil cutter fall into the same trap, and so does the little penknife on a keyring that you genuinely stopped seeing a decade ago. Take 1 minute before you pack and go through the pockets of the bag you are actually taking. Not the packing list, the pockets. That is where these live. Number 6 is walking poles and hiking sticks. This one catches active people and it feels genuinely unfair. A folding hiking pole with a pointed tip has to go in checked baggage. But, and this matters enormously, a walking cane that you use as a mobility aid is completely different. That comes with you, it is screened, and it comes back to you. If you walk with a cane, you are not affected by this. If you hike with poles, you are. Number 7 is the snow globe, which sounds like a joke until it happens. It is a sealed container of liquid, and if it holds more than 3.4 ounces, it goes. Grandparents buy these constantly. Number 8 is the wrapped gift. Wrapped gifts are not prohibited. Let me be clear about that. But if the scanner cannot resolve what is inside, the paper comes off, and it comes off in front of you at the bin. Every December, this happens thousands of times. Wrap it at the other end or ship it ahead. If this is saving you a headache, a like helps more people find it, and I do read the comments on these. Number 9 is the one I said I would bet money on, and it is a portable phone charger or power bank sitting in your checked suitcase. This one is backwards from everything else on this list, and that is exactly why it catches people. Power banks and spare lithium batteries are banned from checked baggage. Completely. They must be in the cabin with you, where a problem can be seen and dealt with immediately. And more airlines now also ask that you do not charge from them or use them during the flight. So the item is not banned. It is banned from the wrong bag. And because everybody has been trained to think of the carry-on as the restricted bag and the checked bag as the free-for-all, this is the one that turns into a delay at the gate while somebody digs through a suitcase that has already been loaded. While we are on the subject of things that are backwards, there is a whole category that matters enormously to older travelers and gets almost no coverage at all. Mobility and medical equipment. Here is the good news, and it is genuinely good. A cane, a walker, a rollator, a folding wheelchair, and a portable oxygen concentrator do not count against your carry-on allowance. Not one of them. Medical equipment and mobility aids travel free and travel with you, and no airline can tell you that your walker is your one personal item. Your cane comes through the checkpoint with you, gets screened, and comes back. Your wheelchair can go with you to the door of the aircraft and be returned to you at the door on arrival rather than at baggage claim, and you should ask for exactly that when you check in, because gate delivery is the difference between walking off the jet bridge into your own chair and waiting 40 minutes at a carousel. The one piece of equipment with a genuine restriction is the oxygen concentrator, and the restriction is specific. It must be a portable model approved for use in flight, and you must carry enough battery to cover roughly 1.5 times your total travel time, counting delays. Airlines take that battery requirement seriously and will refuse you at the gate if you are short. Call your airline at least 48 hours before you fly and confirm both the model and the battery count. That one phone call is the whole of it. Number 10 is heating and cooling items with a chemical or electrical element. Self-heating meals and flameless heaters are prohibited outright. Electric heating pads are generally fine but draw attention. Gel ice packs come back to the liquid rule, and there is one specific detail worth knowing. A frozen gel pack that is still rock solid passes. One that has gone slushy is treated as a liquid and goes in the barrel. If you travel with insulin or a biologic on ice, freeze those packs hard the night before. Number 11 is high-proof alcohol. Anything over 140 proof cannot fly at all, in either bag. Between 24 and 70% alcohol by volume, you are limited to about 1.25 gallons total in checked baggage. In unopened retail packaging, that decorative bottle of overproof rum from the duty-free shop on the way out is a genuine problem on the way home. And number 12 is cannabis in every form. Flower, edible, tincture, cream, patch. It does not matter that it is legal where you live or where you are going. Federal law governs the checkpoint, and officers who find it are required to refer it. Products claiming to be hemp-derived sit in a gray area that cannot be resolved at a bin by an officer with a swab, so the referral happens anyway. If you use these, refill at your destination. Now let me run it backwards, because I promised you this and it is the part that actually matters most. 3 things that must never go in your check bag. The first is your medication, all of it. Check bags get delayed and misrouted, and the hold runs cold enough to damage insulin and certain injectables. Losing your clothes is an inconvenience. Landing in a strange city without your heart medication, on a weekend, where nobody can write you a prescription, is a genuinely serious situation. The second is your spare batteries and power banks, for the reason we just covered. It is not a preference, it is a rule, and it is enforced. And the third is anything that would end the trip if it vanished. Your identification documents, your reading glasses, and I mean the pair you actually need to read a departure board, your phone charger, your house keys, one complete change of clothes. Because here is what I have learned watching people travel for a very long time. The checkpoint is a nuisance. Losing a jar of jam is a small sadness. But the traveler who has a genuinely bad trip is almost never the one who got something confiscated. It is the one whose bag went to Denver while they went to Tampa, and who put everything that mattered inside it. So do this. Tonight, before you fly, put your carry-on the bed and take everything out of it, everything. Then put it back in three groups. Things you need on the plane, things you cannot replace, things that must not go in the hold. If an item does not belong to one of those three groups, ask yourself honestly whether it needs to be in that bag at all. That single exercise takes about 10 minutes, and it will do more for your travel day than every packing list on the internet combined. And there is one more habit I would give you, because it costs nothing and has saved more trips than any rule on this list. Before you close the bag, take a photograph of it, open, with everything laid out. Then photograph the outside of your checked suitcase. If a bag goes missing, the airline will ask you to describe it and to list what was inside, usually while you are tired and standing at a counter at the end of a long day. Two photographs answer both questions instantly and turn a frustrating argument into a form that gets filled in. One last thing on the checkpoint itself. If you are 75 or older, you can ask to be seated during a pat-down, and if you cannot stand for the body scanner, you can ask for an alternative screening method. Both are published procedure, not favors, and any traveler can ask for assistance from the curb to the gate, arranged free through your airline when you book. Almost nobody asks. The people who do have a completely different day. Now, avoiding confiscation is one thing, but there is a whole set of rules at American airports that have genuinely changed in the last year, and some of them changed in ways that work strongly in your favor if you know about them. Most travelers over 65 are still following rules that were quietly retired. I have gone through the 7 biggest ones in the next video, and the first one alone will save you time on every single flight you take from now on. If this was useful, subscribe so the next one finds you. And tell me in the comments, what is the strangest thing you have ever had taken off you at security? The answers on this channel are always better than anything I could put on a list.